Right then, up in the safe area is a building, and inside that building is each team's HQ ops room. That's one for the blue team and one for the red team. Inside there generally is where you find your faction leaders. It's quite sophisticated in each room, so they're separate rooms, different rooms. They don't know what the other team's going. In each HQ ops room, there'll be a bank of tables with laptops. They'll have massive 42-inch plasma screens, and on those screens will be a map of the site, which is live updating, so you can see which buildings you hold and which respawns are going left, blue or red. Each of the HQ will have a licensed military encrypted radio net, which Shoreline will be providing to them, so they can speak to squad leaders and coordinate the game using the radios. There'll be blackboards and whiteboards and massive maps of the town for working out strategies and leaving messages and stuff like this. Each HQ ops room will also have its own 4-person staff. These are people, they'll have their own t-shirts. They're not our staff, they're actually players who are not going to pick up a gun for the weekend, but they'll be dealing with all the strategy and basically running the HQ. The HQ must be manned at all times, 24 hours a day, and there must always be at least one faction leader in the HQ at all times. So if at any point iStick or any other game control guys put their head in the HQ and there's not a faction leader in there, there'll be massive penalty points. Right, HQ is where the factions will run their war from. They'll run everything from there. It's like the nerve centre. And as a player, you should be constantly putting your head into your team's HQ, or if you're playing a team, your captain should be. It's not off limits to anyone yet, and we encourage you to completely communicate with your faction leaders in there all the time. So when you come off the field, stick your head in and tell your faction leaders, we've lost building 33, or they're strong here, or they're pushing there, or whatever. Feedback to them. They need this feedback from you, the players, to know what's going on. Also, before you go onto the field, stick your head in and ask if there's anything that they want you to do. There might be special missions, they might be needing you in certain places. Your HQ is like the brain for this game. And so basically constantly checking with your HQ. If you've got any questions about the game, you need to go and ask your HQ. They've got all the answers in there. When you want to drop off your PMC, the card that you're punching, it's inside the HQ that you do that. And when you need to collect a new one, that's where you get it from your HQ. The faction leaders are most organised and most structured and have the best communication. The chances are they'll win this game. I'm not aware. There might be more sophisticated games out there. I'm not aware of anyone in the world that is. There's bigger ones and maybe more complex ones like a D-Day. In terms of the level of sophistication with IT, there'll be GPS player tracker technology being used and CCTV feeding into banked plasma screens and encrypted radio nets and all this sort of stuff. Not forgetting the UAVs will be feeding back high definition video of the battle area down into the HQs as well. So all of this sort of stuff is pretty sophisticated and gives you an idea of the level of resources being put into the Tickman Challenge UK for this year. But the lesson to take from this is get to know your faction leader, your faction commander. Bother him, email him, phone him, post on the forums, and make yourself known and lobby for cool roles. If you want to volunteer to be on QRF or to be a flamethrower guy, whatever it might be, get hold of your faction leader, make sure that he's got you in his rota and his roster to cover some of those sexy jobs.